one of the actresses that became an international sensation. She starred in various films that made her a female lead and one of the best actresses that was able to be born outside of the US to becoming a legend of the silver screen. Her beauty would lead her to the forefront of the male dominated Hollywood, playing princesses to femme fatales in various Hollywood movies in her career. This is the beautiful Ingrid Bergman, and this is her basic biography. Early life. Ingrid Bergman was born on the 29th of August 1915 in Stockholm, Sweden. She was born to a Swedish father and a German mother, growing up in Sweden where she was able to speak both Swedish and German to both her parents. They would both die when she was at a young age, and even move in with her uncle, where she was able to start most of her early life, and would spend her time living with them. She would able to attend private school and even start an acting career on stage while studying, sometimes becoming a professional actor after her studies and education. She graduated from school and she earned a scholarship to the Royal Dramatic Theatre School in the 1930s within Stockholm, Sweden, where she was able to excel in her studies and even act on stage around the Stockholm area, which helped her with becoming an actress and even acting in front of audiences in real life, as well as on the silver screen, where she was able to act in various movies that would be both in German or Swedish, and sometimes she would star in Hollywood movies depending on what role she would get. She managed to work on smaller roles due to her young age, with a chance of being hired by Hollywood as a mainstay actress in the later stage. Acting career. Whilst having a background on stage acting in Sweden and sometimes performing in Stockholm, Ingrid Bergman would have been able to move to the United States to star in Hollywood movies. Before she was able to become a Hollywood actress, she was able to star in her first film in the 1930s whilst being in her late teens. This movie was called Landskamp in 1932, where she was played a uncredited role, then working on other film productions in Sweden. With most of her films being in Swedish instead of English, which most of the population was able to watch, with a chance to see her first Hollywood movie called Intenmenzo in 1939. Later on in Hollywood, she would be starring in more movies in the 1940s, where she was able to become a breakout star and be the first Swedish actress to make it in Hollywood, where it was only English speaking roles she was able to star in rather than her German and her native Swedish and even German language movies. She would star in various movies in the 1940s when Hollywood was looking for more female leads in various genres such as film noir, thrillers, and even comedies. World War II would help influence the young Ingrid Bergman to stay in the United States and be successful in her major Hollywood movie be successful in major Hollywood movies to appear in film noirs where she would be able to have another breakout role and even become another female icon that was in the 1940s. Casablanca in 1942, where she was able to co-star with legendary actor Humphrey Bogart, made these two become legendary actresses of the silver screen, and being a part of the birth of the film noir genre in the 1940s, with some influences of World War II in within the movie. International film star. Now an international film star based on the film Casablanca, Ingrid Bergman was able to be classed as a leading actress in Hollywood, with other actresses such as Joan Crawford, Judy Garland, and even Katharine Hepburn in the same category. She starred in more movies in the 1940s, from Whom the Bell Tolls, were, as this movie production would have her working with writer Ernest Hemingway, and even wanted her to play as Maria as as his first casting choice. Then working on early Hitchcock films, by ending up with starring with co-star Cary Grant, who was an upcoming actor in the movie Notorious. Ingrid Bergman would be a rising star in the 1950s, as she would be moving to Italy, where she was be offered more roles and even be placed in cheaper productions that were hitting the United States screens in the same decade. As she was able to star in many movies filmed in Italy and even endorsed by various audiences in Italy. One of the films that she was able to star in Italy was called Journey to Italy with co-star George Sanders, who would be one of the Academy Award-winning actors in the same decade, meaning she would be able to work with well-known actors and actresses at the same time as working on small productions in Italy. She was able to star in another movie in the late 1950s, but this time she would be moving and to Paris and working in Paris, France, for the movie Anastasia in 1956, where she was able to play a woman who believed to be the Princess of Russia after the abolition of the empire, with co-star Yul Brynner, who was an actor who was playing kings on the silver screen, but now playing a soldier. Ingrid Bergman would continue to star in a 1950s in film, then spending some time on the small screen at the end of the decade. At the same time, she would able to star in radio, and even lending her voice in various recordings, to starring on stage again. Personal life and final years. Ingrid Bergman would be married 3 times in her life. First husband was Dr. Lindstrom from 1937 to 1950. The couple would have one child together. Second husband was Roberto Rossellini from 1950 to 1957, which their relationship lasted from that time period, and would have 3 children. Her final husband was Lars Schmidt. Their relationship lasted from 1958 to 1978. Ingrid Bergman would be able to win many awards in her career. Her first Academy Award was in 1944, and then would start winning more awards later on in her career in various movies to stage performances. In her later career, she would be starring in less movies in the 1960s and even working in movies such as The Yellow Rolls Royce to Cactus Flower with up and coming actress Goldie Hawn. She managed to star on various types of media whilst in the same decade. She would be working during the 1970s and even the 1980s, where she would be able to star in another iconic movie role based on a remake and even a book by Agatha Christie. This was called Murder on the Orient Express in 1974, with co-stars Albert Finney and even Vanessa Redgrave. Her final performance was in the 1980s called A Woman Called Golda in 1982, which was based on on the late Israeli president of that same era. Legacy of an international star. Sadly, Ingrid Bergman passed away on her birthday on the 29th of August 1982 at the age of 67 from cancer in London, England. She was an actress that would be able to make it big in Hollywood during the time of the Great Depression to World War II as an international star, and she was from Europe at the time where less actors and actresses would star in various blockbusters from that part of the world. She was an actress that that won various awards for her acting career and even a chance to be inspiring new actors and actresses that were able to become leading actresses or actors at the same time. She was able to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and would contribute more in her Hollywood career with her acting roles in general. She would become a bigger star, but her life was taken so early when she was able to when she would have had time to become a bigger actress and even star in more leading roles in the future. Now, thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't done so. My name is Suzuki Cookie, and please have a chance to watch my other videos and even have time to check out my other content. Thank you for watching, and please let me know what you think of this content.